Here are 10 mistakes beginners make while using Roblox Studio. I know we've all been there, been making our game, been so far deep into it, and well then, you just never finish it. And that is because that is mistake number 1. Stick to a game. Yes, I know this is hard and it's been hard for me to do before in the past, but if you don't stick to one game idea, then your ideas are going to be everywhere. I know that they might be everywhere already, but you want to stick to one game idea, because if you don't stick to one game idea, then yeah, you're just not going to have a good time making your game. You're just going to get distracted, so make sure you stick to one game idea, and that is mistake number 1. Now, mistake number 2 is very similar to mistake number 1, and that is learn how to script. Yes, I know it can be a pain to learn how to script on Roblox or just anywhere, but I did create a beginner scripting series. Go check that out, and you can learn all the fundamentals of basic scripting in Roblox. And I know that not a lot of people want to learn how to script on Roblox because it's really hard, but once you learn it, it's not that hard. Now, there are a bunch of different different things you would have to learn about scripting, about Roblox Studio itself, but I promise you it is worth it, because if you don't learn scripting, you've probably been in a game, working on the game for a long time, or maybe not for that long, and then you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna finish this, because now you don't know how to finish, how to finish scripting the game, because you don't know how to script. I've definitely had that problem happen to me before in the past. You don't know how to script, and now you're stuck and you don't know what to do. You can't look up tutorials because half the tutorials don't actually teach you what to do. They're just not relevant, or something else, some other problem. So learn how to script on Roblox, and I promise you it will be worth it. Now for mistake number 3, and that is ignoring the output panel. The output panel is very, fundamental to your Roblox game. If you're writing a script and, you're deep into the script and then something just doesn't work, I know it can be really frustrating. It's happened to me before. And the output panel will help you, because it will tell you all the errors that will happen, and that's where all the stuff that you print goes into the output. Yeah, I know a lot of times you might have an error, maybe something doesn't work, but it doesn't actually print it in the output. That is because, well, maybe it's not like an actual error, and it's maybe like a typo or something, or it just depends on what it is. And that's where printing comes in. I have a video for beginners of how to print on Roblox, again, which is linked to my beginner scripting series, so make sure to go check that series out. And I will also put a link in the description for you if you want to learn that. But yes, do not ignore the output panel. I know it might be like really easy to, trust yourself too much, and then you're like, oh, I got this, I can make this work, and then it doesn't work, and now you are like determined to make something work on your own, which is fine. You can do that. You can try and fix it on your own without having to look up what's wrong with it, or without looking at the output. But I will promise you that it does save a lot of time to look in the output panel, and it will help you. Even though it doesn't seem like it will help you. And I also explain about more stuff about the output in my printing video, so make sure to go check that out once again if you want to learn more about that. And that will bring us to mistake number 4, which is not organizing scripts. Now, when you're making a Roblox game and you're scripting something, you might have lines, tons of code, and when you go back to your code to update the game, maybe let's say you want to go back and update the game, all these lines of code, maybe you forgot what something does, or maybe you want to look up or you want to find this certain part in the script where it does a specific thing, because it's really long. Maybe you have a really long script for your main script for your story game. Maybe you're making a story game and you want the main script that makes everything work. Now maybe it's separated into different parts, one part of the script does this and one part of the script does that, which is usually how the script will work. So you want to make sure you have it organized by keeping different sections of the script, making different sections, adding comments if you don't know how to add comments. I also explained that in my beginner scripting series. I know I'm saying this a bunch, but if you want to learn all of these, make sure to go check out my beginner scripting series. And if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on videos like these. Anyways, back to the video. So you want to make sure you are organizing your scripts using comments, all that stuff, making sure you indent your lines of code, embed them. Not only does this make it more efficient when you come back to the script or when you are just writing the script, not only does it do that, but it also just looks nice and clean and neat. It just looks nice and appealing to look at. I know nobody's really going to be looking at a script just for entertainment or just for like it to appeal to them. No, I know you're just making it so this game actually works. That's the point of the game. But it just makes it a whole lot more efficient, a whole lot easier, and all that stuff. And that brings us to mistake number 5, which is kind of the same as mistake number 4, which is not organizing your game. Now, organizing your game is different than your script. Organizing your script just means, everything I just said. But organizing your game is more like organizing it like putting a bunch of folders and like splitting your game up into different sections. That's what organizing your game is. And basically, in order to do that, you want to be adding a bunch of like folders and stuff like that, like different folders for different stuff. Like for instance, you have something in the workspace, and now in the workspace you want to maybe you have like maybe it's a game where like maybe a cutscene plays out and then like a mission plays after that. Maybe you want the cutscene characters. You need the cutscene characters. Maybe you put them in a folder in workspace. Then maybe you want your map. You put that in a folder. And then maybe you'll group your map and then put that model in the folder. And then maybe you'll have another one for like maybe camera parts for the cutscene, or you might just have one big folder for cutscene stuff, and just different folders for organizing it. I know it might seem like it's useless or like there's really no point of it, or like cool, it's a cool thing, but like I don't really need it. But I promise you, you will need it whenever you're making huge games. Think of those huge games on Roblox. Think of how many hours go into that game that you have to work on that game, and how much stuff you would need to do in order to make that game work. Imagine how long it must have taken them to make all the big games that you see out there. Like, I don't know, maybe like Bloxburg. I mean, it's not that hard of a game to recreate, but I'm pretty sure back when it was first being created, it probably was a lot harder to make the game, especially since old Roblox wasn't the best, I guess, but, I wasn't really around back then. I wasn't really scripting, so I don't really know anything about that, but just think of those big games. Think of how much work and effort you need to put in them. So, making it organized, not only does it just help it be organized and you can find stuff easier, but when you go back to update the game and you want to find a specific thing, you will know exactly where to go because it will be in a certain folder and you can find it. So make sure you organize your game. It's pretty similar to organizing your scripts, so organize your game. And that will bring us to mistake number 6, which is not testing on other devices. Yes, I know, you might not have many other devices or anything. Maybe if you don't know what I'm talking about, like let's say you want your game to be cross-platform. Maybe you want to be on Xbox, you want it to be on mobile, you want it to be on PC, and now since Roblox just added VR, maybe you want it to have VR support, which will probably be a little bit harder to do, but maybe you want it to be on all platforms that Roblox allows. Now, if you want that to happen, you need to make sure you test it on those devices so you know it will work. Like, for instance, you want to make sure all your UI, your graphical user interface, make sure all your UIs or GUIs are, scaled to a certain size, because I know, like, sometimes on other devices, a GUI might be a little bigger or smaller because you originally made it on computer, right? So on maybe like mobile, the GUIs will be way bigger or something. So you want to make sure you fix it on other devices. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't have that many devices. Maybe you have a phone or something, right? And you probably most definitely have a computer, because that's how you would make games on Roblox. But maybe you have maybe you have just mobile and computer or PC or whatever, but now you want to test it on like I don't know, VR, Xbox. Maybe you don't have. Then that is where you need to make sure you go to your test tab on Roblox Studio, and you can press a little button that will change your device. You can change it to basically all the devices that Roblox allows, to see which one works best for you. You can see if it's scaled or not, the GUIs are scaled, or maybe you can see how the game will just feel and look. You can also test the game in the same way as well, if you don't have the actual device for the testing it out. But you want to make sure that you are testing your games on other devices if you have it on other devices, or else your game will just not look good when other players join the game. Will just be like all over the place. Maybe you have a main menu and you have a play button, but now since you made it on computer, that play button is way too big on mobile, so now people can't even press play to start the game, which is be very annoying. So you want to make sure you test your game out on other devices, and that should bring us to mistake number 7, which is kind of similar to not learning how to script, but is relying on other sources like YouTube, or maybe you use like an AI like ChatGPT or something, or maybe like the dev forums on Roblox. Do not rely on them. I know that you can use them, because I encourage people to use stuff like YouTube or maybe ChatGPT. ChatGPT can literally write you like full scripts, and they can write you full scripts, and yeah, it will write you full scripts. But and then like the dev forums, if you don't know what that is, it's basically just where all the developers can go and post their problems and everything, and it will show you like all the updates and stuff. You can ask other developers questions and stuff. So yeah, that's what the dev forums are, and obviously YouTube. So you don't want to rely on those. You can use them, because I encourage people to use them, because if you're stuck on something, you don't know how to fix it yourself, you want to be able to look it up and learn how to do it. Or if you do know how to do it and you just forgot, you can look it up again. So I encourage you to use those sources when you need to, but do not rely on them, because if you rely on them, then your game will just be all over the place. Because I used to do this when I was learning how to script. I used to make so many games. I made so many games, like, I don't know, at least almost 100 games before in my past, and all of them just sitting there, not being updated at all, because I did not know how to script, and I relied on YouTube or dev forums or ChatGPT, and I didn't actually learn how to script. Because if you rely on them, they won't give you the right answers a lot of the time. Like YouTube, there will not be somebody who makes a video on YouTube about every little thing about Roblox Studio, or sometimes maybe like the main things that you want to learn. Some people don't even make videos on them, which can be really annoying when you don't actually know how to do it, or maybe they don't explain it to you the exact way you want to do it. Maybe you want to do it differently. I know it can be really annoying, or maybe ChatGPT gives you like a wrong script or something that you don't want. With the dev forums, maybe you don't find the exact thing that maybe the people will make a mistake, or they'll say something and then it might be wrong or something, or maybe it will be right. Maybe you do find something on those sites that will help you, but don't rely on them, because let's just say you have a game and maybe you do make your game relying on those. Now you want to update your game. Maybe your game got hacked or something got bugged, or you just want to update your game to be better because you want to keep up with the people that play your game, maybe the updates that they want. Now you don't know how to do those because Roblox, you don't know how to script on Roblox. So even though you can look up stuff on other sites and it will help you, don't rely on them, because if you do, then it just won't be good. You want to make sure you actually know how to script or how to do some stuff, most of the stuff that you want to do, right? That should bring us to tip number 8, or mistake number 8, sorry, which is giving up or getting discouraged by, maybe like bugs or stuff. Don't give up on your game. Alright, even if you need to look stuff up, do that. But again, like I said, make sure you know how at least the basics of scripting, and you can at least make some stuff work. At least you know the basics, because I promise you, when you do learn like some of the basics and some of the advanced stuff, I promise you, you will understand a lot more stuff. So even when you look up how to do different stuff, you'll be like, oh, I know how to import this into my game, or maybe I can change it to how I want it to be. I promise you, you will know, you will understand. You will start to get a pretty basic understanding of how to do everything, really. So don't get discouraged if something doesn't work in your game, or don't give up, maybe because the game is too hard or something to make. Don't give up, because that is a mistake I see a lot of people do, and I've done it before in the past as well. I've given up because I didn't know how to script and stuff. That's mainly because I didn't know how to script, like I just said before. But don't give up maybe because of a certain bug that you've been trying to fix. Maybe you do know how to script and you want to fix this bug, but it's really bugging you. But and you don't know how to script it and everything, and now it's annoying, and then you don't know how to fix it, and now you give up. You don't want to do that, especially if you've been putting so much work and effort in this game. I promise you, you will find a way. Just type something on the dev forums or on another site. Maybe somebody will correct you on there. Type it in ChatGPT, type it into YouTube. I promise you, it will help you. This is very similar to like the other mistake that we just mentioned, but make sure you don't get discouraged or give up, because I promise you, in the end, it will be worth it, like I said before, right? So don't give up, don't get discouraged. That should bring us to tip number 9, which is forgetting to save the game or not saving your game. Now, this has definitely happened to me before. I accidentally did not save my game, and then the whole work's gone. Now, I know this is not that important as all the other tips, because there is an autosave feature whenever you do leave your game. Just make sure that when you spawn into your new game, make sure you go to the game settings and then save the game, or else it will just not, it just won't save. Because if you try to leave the game without saving it to Roblox, it will ask you if you do want to save your game, yes or no. So if you read too fast and you press no, then your game is gone. So I know this is not as important as all the other tips, but I just wanted to make it clear to remember to save your game, and whenever you're testing your game on the actual Roblox site, make sure to publish it. As if you don't publish it, your game won't update to your actual game won't update. So make sure to publish it to update the game as well, and make sure you avoid that mistake of not saving it. I know it wasn't that important, but just make sure you don't do that, and it will autosave it once you do close out, once you do save it. Alright, so that should bring us to tip number 10, which is the last tip. And I saved the best for last, which is not learning from your mistakes. We all make mistakes, right? And this whole video is just talking about 10 ways or 10 mistakes that beginners make when they're making games on Roblox. So learn from your mistakes. Make sure you learn from your mistakes, and the way you do that is, let's say something doesn't work. Remember, all these mistakes I just mentioned, I gave you ways how you can fix them or what you can do, which is like with the output. Make sure you don't ignore the output. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your coding mistakes. If something doesn't work for you, figure it out, and then you'll know how to learn from your mistake. It's basically what learning from your mistake is. Learning from your mistake. So make sure you do that. Learn from your past mistakes. Don't just ignore them. Don't ignore your mistakes and then search up like a already made code on ChatGPT and then fully paste that into your game and have no idea what it does. Learn from your mistakes. Make sure you do it and put in the time. If you really want to learn about Roblox Studio or about scripting or whatever you're trying to learn on Roblox Studio, make sure you put in the time and learn from your mistakes, because none of us has just made a game with having no knowledge at all. Probably someone has done it out there, but I promise you, if you want to make a big top page game, front page game, you want to make sure you learn from mistakes and you actually put in the time and effort, or else you will not. And this applies to basically everything. Make sure you put in the time and effort. I promise you, you will see results. Alright? So learn from your mistakes, and I promise you this will work out for you. Now, thank you guys for watching this video. I know I explained to you 10 mistakes on how you can improve them. So that is what I said in this video. So make sure you drop a like and turn on notifications, and make sure you subscribe, because it will help me out a lot. Thank you guys for helping me reach 100 subscribers. I wanted just to say thank you. And yeah guys, I will continue to be posting videos more of topics like this. If you want more, make sure you like the video and subscribe as well. And I guess I will see you guys in the next video. So remember, don't make these mistakes. And this has been 10 mistakes that beginners make on Roblox Studio. And it's been I'm been Spicer, sorry. It's been can't speak. Okay, anyways guys, I won't hold you up anymore. Goodbye.